This is a video on how to clean up your operatory after patient care. So once you've dismissed your patient, you're going to come in the room and you're going to wash your hands, and you're going to do your antiseptic hand wash. So you're going to wet your hands and you're going to interlace your hands. Get in between your fingers and your thumb. You're going to do this for about 30 seconds. Don't forget the back of your palm. All right, then you're going to go ahead and rinse your hands thoroughly, make sure all the soap is removed. And then you're going to grab your paper towels and you're going to dry from your fingertips to your wrist. And you're going to throw that away. You're going to grab the paper towel and you're going to turn off your faucet and just kind of clean up around the sink if there's any water. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to don our PPE. So once you've washed your hands, you're going to put your gown on and you're going to kind of shimmy into it, making sure that you're not touching the outside of the gown because the gown is dirty because you just released your patient. And you can kind of see how she's using her hands to kind of shimmy that in. Okay, then you are going to take a paper towel and you're going to open up the cabinet. You're going to throw the paper towel away and you're going to grab your mask. You're going to put the mask, you're going to make sure that it's going over your ears, up over your nose, pinch, and it goes underneath your chin. So this is the correct way to wear your mask. Okay? Then you're going to come and you're going to grab the paper towel and you're going to shut the cabinet and you're going to open the cabinet where your gloves are. And now you're going to throw the paper towel away. And you're going to go ahead, and she already has her safety glasses on because they're prescription, but you would put your safety glasses on at this point. And then you're going to take your gloves. Now when she puts her gloves on, she's going to make sure that her gloves go over the cuff of her gown. And now she's going to tie her gown. And sometimes this can be a struggle, and if it is, you can certainly ask someone to help you, but just make sure that whoever you ask to help has gloves on. Now you can see that she's touched quite a bit of the outside of her gown, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these gloves and we're gonna throw them away. Then she's going to do the antiseptic hand wash. She's going to do a full pump. There you go. And she's going to wipe these off, or wipe her hands vigorously until they're dry. There's going to be no waving of the hands. Now that her hands are fully clean, dry, she's going to grab her gloves. Making sure that they're over the cuff. At this point, she could shut the door. And she is going to put on her utility gloves. Okay, Now the first thing she's gonna do is she's gonna go to her operatory and she's gonna remove all of the disposables. So she's gonna place everything on her tray. And that happens all the time. And she's probably gonna put everything like on the chair, just so there's a place to put all of the disposables. So she'll take the, the chair cover on top, and she's gonna put everything on top of that chair cover, because we'll ball it up and throw everything away in the garbage bin. And she's gonna put the tray back on that tray cover, and then she's gonna move her instruments on top of the tray. And make sure that when you're moving your instruments, that your cassette is fully closed. Barriers on the light. We're going to remove this barrier on the bottom, and then we're going to remove the barriers on the operator seat, and the barriers on the keyboard and the mouse. And she's going to collect all of her disposables, and she's going to throw them in the trash. And she's going to go back, grab her tray and her instruments, and she's going to put them in a red biohazard, puncture resistant bin. And this will be brought to sterilization. So once she's put her instruments in the cassette, she's gonna come over here and she's gonna grab her Optum One wipes. She's gonna rotate the bin, making sure the solution from the bottom is reaching the top. And she's gonna open it, and she's gonna grab about 3 to 4 wipes. Now, once you get to this point, we have to think of wet on wet, meaning wet means clean, okay? So when you come to this point, you can do pretty much any system you want to do, but we'll just walk through this one that I'm going to show you. So come on over here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to wipe the computer first. We're going to get the top of the keyboard. We're going to pick up the keyboard. We're going to go underneath the keyboard and the back of the keyboard, and we're going to clean the whole counter. And we're going to cup the edges to get a little bit underneath. Perfect. And now the keyboard is wet, so we're going to put it on the wet counter. We're going to pick up the mouse. We're going to do the same thing. And she's going to wipe the counter down first, because then that will be wet. She's cupping it underneath. That's great. And she's going to put the mouse down. From here, she's going to go to the operatory chair. She's going to go ahead and she is going to do the back, cupping the sides to make sure that we're getting both sides in the back part of it. And then she's going to go to the seat. She's going to move to the levers. Make sure to get the tops and the bottom of it. And she's going to get the bottom part of it as well. Perfect. Okay, so then she's going to go ahead and throw those Cavicide away. she's gonna grab about 3 more. Again, she's gonna rotate. And she's gonna make sure she's gonna close it. She's gonna try to get as much of those back in there as possible. There we go. And now she's gonna come over to her unit. Now, if you remembered in the video, she accidentally dropped the ultrasonic holder handpiece. So she's gonna follow it, grab it from the base. And then she's gonna wipe the top of the counter. Getting the sides, there we go. And then she's gonna put the Cavitron back. Okay, now, did you see what happened here? She just dropped a Cavicide, so she's gonna pick that up. Now, if your wipe falls on the floor, you're just gonna leave it there, okay? So now she is going to clean the front of the unit. And she's gonna be just careful of the knobs, making sure she gets all around them. And then she's gonna go by each one. And you're gonna see as she cleans the hoses, she starts from the base and comes up. And you're gonna do this with light pressure. You don't wanna put any extra pressure on the hose. When she comes up, she's gonna lift it off the holster. She's gonna clean the holster. And she's gonna put it back on. So you can see a Cavicide, a wipe on the bottom. You're just gonna leave that there. We'll pick it up later. So you can see this takes some time. The one thing that we want to stress is that when you are disinfecting your room after patient care, you really want to be mindful and really pay attention to what you are wiping. Dry blood actually is very difficult to remove, and it takes more than just a light wipe. So you really definitely want to make sure that what you're wiping is what you're paying attention to, because you are responsible, you are the clinician. So she's getting this tray, but she knows she's got to go back and get those other hoses. Even if you don't use the hoses, we still are responsible for wiping them down. And you can tell that she's squatting, so her knees are not touching the floor. We do not want to be putting our knees on the floor. All right, so she's got her last hose. She's probably pretty happy about this right now.